Thank you for watching this video on African investors, who they are, what they invest in, where they invest, and how you can meet or contact them. You're in good hands. My team has substantial multi-decade experience in working with African investors. I've run an African stock exchange and an investment bank focused on Africa, and my team runs AFSIC Investing in Africa, perhaps Africa's most important investment event. There's a lot of information in this video, but if you really want to get maximum benefit from our experience, whether you're an investor yourself or you want to apply for investment, make sure that you subscribe to our email list or contact us so that we can send you further details on the next steps. You can also join our Africa business community today absolutely for free. Links are in the YouTube video description if you're watching on YouTube, and on the web page if you're watching this on one of our digital portals or websites. Okay, so let's get going and talk about African investors. First, what type of investors are there that focus on Africa? Well, actually, there's not a simple answer, as there are quite a number of different ways in which you can segment African investors. For instance, you can segment them by the business sector in which they invest, or the countries in Africa that they focus on, and so on. However, to start with, let's look at the difference between investors who make investment decisions to wholly benefit themselves or the company they work for, versus professional investors who are paid to invest on behalf of third parties. In other words, they're investors investing on behalf of other investors. People who invest for their own benefit are often called private investors. They could be successful businessmen or businesswomen based inside or outside Africa who invest directly into companies, shares, or funds in Africa, looking to make money specifically for themselves. The richest of these individuals may have set up their own investment operations, which are often called family offices. Or they could be companies looking to grow in Africa. For instance, a large renewable energy company in France may want to buy or invest into renewable energy companies in Francophone Africa, Senegal, etc., or elsewhere in Africa. The key here is that both the companies and the individuals in this case are looking for investments solely to benefit themselves. There are literally hundreds of thousands of these investors who might be interested in looking into investing in any business, project, or concept in Africa. In general, corporate investors make larger investments than private investors. However, corporate investors are likely to be highly restricted to investing only into companies in their exact or similar type of business. So a renewable energy company will look to invest in renewable energy companies. Private individual investors will, with only a small number of exceptions, invest smaller amounts than professional or corporate investors. But because they're investing on their own behalf, they have much greater flexibility in what they can invest into, as opposed to professional investors who have their hands tied as to what they can invest into. Private individual investors can often put money both into very early stage projects, concepts, or ideas, and are sometimes known as angel or venture capital investors. And they're also able to willing and invest into more developed investment opportunities as well. While there are a large number of these types of investors, the difficulty is often finding out who they are and what they're looking for. They may be based outside of Africa and have very little networks within specific African countries, and as a result never get shown investment opportunities that might be of interest to them. To facilitate the flow of business and investment opportunities and ideas to these types of investors, our team has developed a digital Africa Business Opportunities dashboard, which is designed to bring all sorts of investment opportunities to the forefront of private investors' attention. So look for the links below the video on YouTube or on the webpage if you're on one of our websites or portals, if you want your project to be discovered by this type of investor. Using our Africa Business Opportunities dashboard is totally free, so do get adding now. So we've talked about the type of investors, including private investors, family offices and companies who are looking to invest into Africa on their own behalf. The other type of investor is a professional investor. Professional investors get paid to invest other people's money. This type of investor often needs to be regulated in their home country by the National Financial Services Authority and is often referred to as an institutional investor or fund manager. They may be based in Africa or outside of Africa. In fact, each country in Africa has its own local institutional investors who generally prefer to invest into their own country, perhaps because they know the investment conditions best, or exchange control regulations force them to invest internally. Some countries in Africa, such as Egypt, Morocco, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, have very well developed local fund managers. For instance, in South Africa, Old Mutual, Sanlam and Alan Gray are well-known investment funds. But there are also a large number of institutional investors based outside of Africa, for instance, in the United States, the UK, France, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, China, and so on, who can range in size from very small to those managing billions of US dollars of investments. This type of investor is most often severely restricted in what they can invest into, although a few, like hedge funds, may have an unrestricted ability to invest into whatever they fancy at any particular time. But generally speaking, there's no point asking a fund manager who specializes in investing into agriculture companies in Africa to look at investing into a new and exciting mining company, as most likely, however much they may like the investment merits of the mining company, they will simply not be allowed to invest into it as a result of prohibitions included in their constitution or investment mandate, which is set when they establish themselves. As a result, you need to understand the investment mandates or parameters of these investors before you approach them. Common restrictions for African investors are based on region. So some, for instance, some professional investors are only allowed to invest in North Africa. Others are only allowed to invest in sub-Saharan Africa. Others may be restricted to investing into a single African country, for instance, Kenya or Ghana, for example. Or they may be sector restricted. For instance, there are funds focused solely on investing into African renewable energy, agriculture, health, mining, and education as examples. There are also further restrictions on the types of investments that a fund manager can make. Some are restricted to investing into shares listed on African stock exchanges. They're known as public equity investors. Others are the opposite and can only invest in companies that are not listed on a stock exchange. These are known as private equity investors. Others provide debt finance, and some specialize in trade finance. Knowing what each investor focuses on is important in learning which investor might be of the greatest assistance to you in raising funding. As a reminder, we've developed one of the largest networks of investors globally, and they are focused on Africa. And if you subscribe to our mailers or become a member of our Africa business community today, then we'll keep you updated on the various options that we offer for you to connect with these investors. So joining is totally free, so why not do it while you're watching this video? So we've discussed the difference between private and company investors investing on their own behalf and institutional investors who manage money for a fee from other investors. We've also talked about the fact that some investors focus on specific business sectors and others can only invest in certain types of investment instruments, for example, listed shares. But where do these investors focus on in Africa? Well, generally speaking, investors based within Africa focus mainly on investment opportunities specifically in their own country or region. There are exceptions. For instance, Moroccan and South African investors have a good history and track record of investing right across the African continent. But in the main, it's a good rule of thumb. Otherwise, most investors will focus on investing into the largest economies in Africa: Egypt, Morocco, Nigeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, or into projects, concepts, or ideas that are scalable across the continent and perhaps globally. Great, so we've talked about the different types of investors in Africa, where they invest, what they invest in. Now it's time to discuss how to meet or connect with them. And that's where we can really assist you. We have a number of digital platforms that are free for you to use, where you can upload your investment idea and it can be reviewed by our large network of investors and parties interested in investing in Africa. First, we suggest you follow the links as to how to join our Africa business community for free. And once a member, you'll be able to post your own business opportunities on our Africa Business Opportunities dashboard. For those wanting to meet the Africa investors at a physical event, I highly recommend attending our AFSIC Investing in Africa event, which is perhaps Africa's most important investment event and a great place to connect with investors focused on Africa. So on that note, I'd like to thank you very much for having watched this video right to the end. Don't forget, your next step is to become a member of our Africa business community. It's free, so why not do that right now? Thank you.